But also we want some sort of sparks or something. So let's make a quick, not that great looking sparks. Cool. Let's add some glow and some duplicates like that, and we will animate it. We won't loop it. We will pulse it. Right. So that's really slow. Looks really cool though. So let's try that again. Yep, that's about right. And we'll make it yellow like the thing, so that it's kind of clear to the player that the sparks are coming from picking that thing up. So now we want to emit that. So we will make an emitter and object to emit. Click on the that over there, and we want to emit once, and don't have any speed on it or anything. And then we will drag that over here. But this dot is way over here, so we want to move that to kind of the center point of the pickup like that. So now let's see if that works. So it's way off to the side. So what we'll do, if you while the emitter is tweaked and you have preview invisibility off, you can see the whole thing, and it's kind of twitching around because of that duplication stuff. So I think what I'll actually do, let's just turn off duplications so I can see what's going on. There you go. And adjust this center point so it's in line with it. Oh, that's pretty good. And then we can go back in here, and this is because preview invisibility is off, so you can see this stuff. And we'll put the duplication back on. And by the way, you can just move this around any way you like, so I'll put it at the back. And I'll see how that looks. Not bad, it's probably a bit big, so what I'll do is I'll grab the gizmo dot and I'll just scale that down, and then that scales down. It doesn't scale down the original thing, it just scales down the actual emitted object kind of thing. So let's see how that looks. Not bad. Probably speed it up. Okay, that should be fine. So that works. But what I'd like is to I don't know if you played some of the kind of old school games, but sometimes they have, like Rayman or something like that, they tend to have like a little ding. So but they kind of play a little tune if you go through a load of them in one go. So I'll try and make something like that. So I'll put that on there, on beats mode, and I'll go to sound mode and then search for an instrument, and probably something in here. I'll just make it sound like a piano for now. So now I'll go into here and I'll just record some bit of music. Okay, and then I'll realign these. I'll make the gaps bigger with L1 and up or down. Adjust those. So I want to just put it on the on the beats like that. And this can be as many notes or whatever as you like. And for reason, I'll tweak that later actually. So I'll put that there, and then make the timeline the same length. And now I'll make some logic for it. So normally this will just play through. But we want to control it with logic, so it plays just the next note every time you pick up one of these pickups. So to test that out, I'll have a switch and a counter. Now we have how many points along here have we got? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Actually, that should be one shorter, so it's 6. But you can see just about that last note is on there, and it will actually play. So now we'll put that in there, and if we play time, it just plays that first note. Oh, we need to make this have 6. Okay, so I'll just demonstrate in here actually. So as you change this, it kind of skips to different points in there. So I think we're off by 1. So that's cool. So this count progress is actually sending a number from 0, which will be at the start, to 1, which will be when it gets to 5 and it's full, and then a number between that when it's in between that. So if we trigger that, with some logic, then we can, from these pickups, then we can play the next note in this progression. Cool. So, but when it gets to the end, we need to kind of reset everything. So on end trigger, we'll take that and then reset that to 0. So actually, just to make this easier, we'll make it so when I turn the switch on or off, it'll send a pulse. So I'll put that into signal manipulator. In custom remapper mode, there's pulse at on or off. I'll plug that in instead. So now, so you can hear when it resets the start, it plays that first note again, which isn't what we want. So I'll just move this whole thing along 1, and now we have an extra notch. Okay, so cool. And probably adjust this so it's like that. Yeah, cool. So now we just need to trigger this when we pick up stuff. So I'll use a technique I've been liking recently, which is to kind of get kind of wireless communications between stuff. So I have a switch and it's off, and then I have a keyframe that turns it on, and then I put that switch somewhere else. I'll just put it there, and when this keyframe gets powered, it will turn on that switch somewhere else in the scene and do some stuff. So what I'll do is I'll put it in here, and make sure when you do it this way, instead of normally you'd kind of wire it into the power and then it will power it no matter what, but if you just have it by itself, it tends to be powered off. So if you put it in a chip to be powered by the chip instead, remember to turn it on like that. Cool, and then we put that over here and just use that switch instead. It's probably a good idea to name all these things, but I don't want to spend forever naming everything for now. So, oh, and for this we just want it to go straight in, and let's see if that works. Oh yeah, so that's awesome. So let's just make sure, where should I put them? I'll just put a load over here and see if it goes through that that note progression. Nice. Cool. Thanks for watching. If you'd like me to continue making these daily tutorials and helping creators across the internet, you can support me through the link in the description. Thanks for your consideration, and I'll see you in the next one.